Hello everyone, you're tuned into Gospelfaith TV. This is me, Sir Evangelist Alex, the President of Gospelfaith Ministries. You know, today I want to talk about the death of a world icon who goes by the name of Nelson Mandela. I know worldwide everyone seems to be paying their tributes to Nelson Mandela. I am part of that mix and I am part of that fold, but I thought I would like to do something personally. I'd like to pay my own personal tributes here to Mr Nelson Mandela himself. You know, this is like from one icon to another. So today I'm looking at the death and the life of Nelson Mandela. Okay, let me kick this off here with the word Madiba. All over the world, Nelson Mandela is known as Madiba, and Madiba is a name that was given to Nelson Mandela by his indigenous people. Madiba means a respected father of a nation. You know, I've done my research. You'd be surprised how much research I've done, but I found this information within, I'll say, less than 5 minutes. Madiba means a respected father of a nation. Madiba can also mean a father of a generation. Madiba can also mean a world father figure. But in my words, specifically, if I was to conclude, or if I was to define the word Madiba, I will say it means a great hero to a generation. So when I say a great hero to a generation, I'm not saying a great hero to Africa or America, or a great hero to South America or Australia or Asia. I'm saying a great hero to a generation worldwide. A great hero encapsulates the world in its fullest. Now, I've read books about Nelson Mandela, and I wouldn't really say that I've studied much about Nelson Mandela, but the little I know about Nelson Mandela, I would like to bring it forth to the audience. Nelson Mandela, I learned that when he was born in South Africa, he was more or less brought up in the rural part of South Africa. And in other words, your parents were not really the richest within the area, but you came from a poor home. And Mandela, you coming from a poor home didn't really put you off as a child. I learned somewhere, reading a book, about how you was taken from the rural area of South Africa and you was taken to a white area in South Africa. And as you was being brought up in a white area, your traditional name, which I don't know right now because I don't have it with me, but your traditional name that your parents gave you changed. And as you was growing up and going to school in a white area, maybe it was because of your academical intelligence. Maybe the teachers in the white schools or whatever, they saw your capabilities and they gave you an official name, which is Nelson Mandela. And that is the name that the world know you by. It was a name that was given to you. You know, I was actually born in London, and I was raised in London. But, you know, throughout my walks, I find myself, even before the death of Nelson Mandela, I took up so much interest in such an important man to the society. And I've always asked people about questions about Nelson Mandela, because you are a man that I always looked up to. You're a man that really inspired me, despite me not knowing much about you, but the name alone. So in London, I found myself, like, even when I'm in South London or North London or whatever part of London I'm in, I'm always asking them here, where did Nelson Mandela study? And to my greatest surprise, I found out that Nelson Mandela, you actually went to university. Maybe in the 60s or 70s, you went to university in central London. Yeah, Russell Square. So it's either you went to the UCL, the University College of London, or you studied at SOAS. You studied at SOAS. There are two neighbouring buildings, and there's Birkbeck College in Russell Square there. But it's one of those things, and you know, I drew a lot of interest from that, because I was thinking to myself, Nelson Mandela is a man that has actually, before he became whatever it is he became, before he became an important part of society, before he became a powerful man, he has already studied in England. He's been to various countries, and he's got so much experiences, and he learned from the English themselves. So that must have added to the knowledge, obviously, that you accumulated along the way. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And Nelson Mandela, I'm here to say as well, yeah, that you've done great works, yeah, for South Africa. You've done great works for South Africa. And we all know that if it wasn't for your bravery, if it wasn't for your belief, if it wasn't for your integrity, if it wasn't for your will and desire, South Africa wouldn't have got to where it is today. You know, when I look at South Africa, you know, there's been so much of a change over the years. There's been a transformation. You know, it's come from a long way. You know, Nelson Mandela, you have helped put South Africa on the world map. Before, the way people used to look at South Africa is like fighting, killing, brutality and everything. But what you've achieved there is so much. You know, it's because of your works that great men around the world, yeah, they found themselves in South Africa, becoming a part of various missions and the visions going on in South Africa. I mean, my pastor, his name is Pastor Chris, and I know Pastor Chris has done great works in South Africa. I know he's got a healing school there. I know he's got maybe a Christ Embassy church there. One of the footballers that I played with, a Nigerian international who goes by the name of Raphael Chukwu, he played for a team in South Africa called the Sundowns FC. So when I look at all the things that has been achieved in, I don't want to use the word modern South Africa, but when I look at all the things that's been achieved in South Africa in the past 20 years, I take off my hat to Nelson Mandela. I do really take off my hat to Nelson Mandela. I mean, the Rugby World Cup, look at that. 50 years ago, who would have thought that the Rugby World Cup would have been hosted in South Africa? But it happened. And I think South Africa won it as well. These are great achievements. Who would have thought the football FIFA World Cup would have been hosted in South Africa. But it happened. But you tell me, if it would have been possible for such great achievements to take place here, if there was fighting going on, it wouldn't be possible. So Nelson Mandela, you helped create the peace, and it's because of your vision that all these great achievements took place. I know I was reading somewhere, and I know that when the apartheid was going on in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, you formed a political party which was called the ANC, and you was the leader of that party, and you helped eradicate, you know, the brutality and the racism and the wars and the misunderstandings and the conflicts. It's down to you. So you've set a good example, Nelson Mandela, and it's great to know that someone like you, a great man like yourself here, has contributed, you know, because I'm looking back about the figure. I mean, if you don't look at history, then you won't be able to walk freely in the future. There cannot be no future without no history. So Nelson Mandela, you've left your mark. You've left your mark, and you've left great examples for younger generations coming up. You know, another thing I want to talk about on Gospelfaith TV, another thing I want to talk about is how Nelson Mandela, you spent 27 years in jail in Robben Islands just for trying to create peace. Me personally, I believe that that 27 years that you spent in jail, it must have taken a lot out of you as well. It must have, because at the end of the day, anybody that goes to jail for 27 years, they're not going to come out the same mentally or physically. So I'm just trying to say that as you was in jail for 27 years, you couldn't have come out the same man that you was when you went in there. I mean, 27 years in Robben Islands, it means that before you went into jail and the times you spent in jail, you was at your peak. So all those years that you spent when you was in jail, those were the times when you was a young man. And those were the times when you could have even have done more for South Africa or the black race. But you had so much to share. You had so much to give. You had a lot of fire in your belly. And no one can take that away from you, Mr. Nelson Mandela. 27 years in jail, in my words, means that we didn't really get to see the real Mandela. We saw Mandela, but we didn't really see Mandela in full. You know, I'm sure Mandela had so much more he wanted to share or to give to the people, but like I'm saying, those 27 years, it must have taken a lot out of Nelson Mandela. I just believe that Nelson Mandela, I mean, you're a world icon, but if you lived your life without 27 years in Robben Islands, there's a lot more you could have given. You would have achieved a lot more for your country, South Africa, and the entire black race. I mean, we can't measure these things because it's in the past now, but I mean, the way the ANC and the way you was approaching and delivering the messages at the time, I believe that black South Africa would have benefited from it much more. I mean, 27 years in Robben Islands, you know, whenever you read a book or whenever you see a TV documentary about Nelson Mandela, they say, oh, he spent 27 years in jail here. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know the conditions that Nelson Mandela had to face behind those bars. We don't know if his health was tampered with. We don't even know if he came out of Robben Islands as a slower person. Just like one time, I told you about Overmars, rest in peace, when I made that video. And I said, Overmars, my friend, when you lost your mind and they put you in a mental institution, you came out walking like that. I said, Overmars, you was walking like that. I don't know what they done to you there. So what I'm trying to say is, Nelson Mandela, you went in before you went into the Robben Islands, you was a strong man. Yes, but after 27 years, a lot of things have happened behind closed doors. We don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened to your health. You know? So we just give thanks. There's a great man in the Bible, in the New Testament. Yes, this is Sir Evangelist Alex dealing with the Mandela case. And I'm paying a tribute to a world icon, Mr. Nelson Mandela. Anyway, there was a great man, a great apostle of Jesus Christ, who goes by the name of Apostle Paul. And I think I've got it written down here. And Apostle Paul says, I have fought a good fight. Apostle Paul looked at his life and he said, I have fought a good fight. And I have finished my course. I'll show you what a course means. A course could mean like going to a university, you're starting out. Or a course could mean going to college, you're starting out. It's got a duration period of time. So if you're going to go to university to do a degree, you might have to go on to a 3-year course. Or you might have to go on to a 4-year course. That means you have to spend 4 years studying to get that certificate, to show yourself approved. You've become a graduate. So in this case, Apostle Paul himself, he said, I have fought the good fight. And I have finished my course. I'm here to say, Nelson Mandela, you fought a good fight. I'm here to say, Nelson Mandela, you did fight a good fight. Yeah. When I was growing up, when I was like 15, 14, when I was like 12, 8 years old, I didn't know nothing about Nelson Mandela. But as I was getting older, it was dawned into me that there's a man somewhere in Africa. Come with me. There's a man somewhere in Africa. Where's Africa? That's it right here. There's a man somewhere in Africa. Well, it's got Mozambique, it's got Botswana, it's got Namibia. See shoes. It's got Republic of South Africa. Look at it. It's at the bottom. of Africa. And yeah, it was dawned on me that there's a man from South Africa who goes by the name of Nelson Mandela. So I'm here to say, Nelson Mandela, you've done a great job. You've actually fought a good fight, and you finished your cause. Yes, you have finished your cause. No one can take that away from you. You know, Nelson Mandela as well, there's not too many people like you in this world with that kind of world icon status. No. When I think of great names, or great black African names with that kind of status as well, I think of the great Michael Jackson. Yeah, I got my reasons why. You know, after this, I'm going to do a tribute. After this, I'm going to do a tribute to Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is a great name as well. Through his music, and through his lyrics, and through his charity work. You understand me? No one can take this away from Michael Jackson. I'll put you in the same class as Nelson Mandela. You're a great man for your words alone, the meaning of your words. Another black icon, Pele, the great Brazilian footballer. You know, when I mention Nelson Mandela, I put Pele there as well for what you achieved. You're an inspiration. Another black icon that I will put in there is Muhammad Ali. These are great names. You fought the good fight. Yes, you did fight the good fight. You did fight the good fight. Yes, you did fight the good fight. And you finished your cause. You know, it's things like this that motivate me, Sir Evangelist Alex. A South London kid, a South London boy that came out of nothing. And when I read about these people, I say to myself, you know what, yeah, I became something. Yeah, I think to myself, if Nelson Mandela can achieve, Michael Jackson can achieve, Muhammad Ali can achieve, Mike Tyson can achieve, Lennox Lewis can achieve, I'm going to do something with my life. Mandela achieved. I know Mandela right now, he's dead. I don't even know if he's buried yet, because today is what, the 11th of December 2013. But when I look at these people, their profiles, their resistance, their dignity, their integrity, the love they had for nations, their charitable hearts, I said, no, I'm going to do something with my life as well. I'm doing something with my life just because of these people. I mean, when I heard Nelson Mandela died, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for me. But here I am saying as well, yeah, Nelson Mandela, I got to say this, Nelson Mandela, you've left a big legacy. But I still think that Nelson Mandela here, despite everything that you achieved, I still think that you could have achieved more. I believe that your legacy here was cut short. Yeah, for the fact that you was put in jail for 27 years. Let me give you an example. I'll give you an example. If I'm doing a 4-year degree, and I passed the first year, and they take me out of the second year, and they take me out of the third year, and they put me back in the fourth year, I might pass and get the certificate, but it wouldn't be the same as if I was to complete the first year, the second year, and the third year, and then go into, I mean, this is a chronological order. So I'm just trying to say, Nelson Mandela, you are a great man, but your legacy was still cut short. You could have achieved a lot more within that 27 years. You want to argue with me? Do you want to argue with me? Okay, don't argue with me, because I know what I'm talking about. The Bible talks about Jesus Christ. The Bible shows us how Jesus Christ was born. How he was born by the Virgin Mary. How he was conceived by the Holy Ghost. But you know, from the age of 12 to probably the age of, I don't know, maybe 30, the Bible doesn't tell us what happened to Jesus Christ. So I am concerned to know what happened to Jesus Christ between the age of 12 years old up until the age of 30. But you know what? I found out. Yeah, Jesus went through a lot, but the Bible didn't tell us this, you know. But through revelations, and the knowledge of God, yeah, I found out the ordeal and the experiences and what he had to witness as a human being. Listen, I feel like at this point in time, I feel like I want to stand up, and wherever you are watching this video, remember, you're tuned into Gospelfaith TV. What TV? What TV? Gospelfaith TV. You're tuned into Gospelfaith TV. Wherever you are in the world, because I've got audiences all over the world. I've got audiences in India, China, Africa, Italia. You name it, they write to me on a daily basis. I know where you are. But I'm saying, wherever you are watching this video today, stand up. I don't know if you're watching it with your grandma. I don't know if you're watching it with your granddad. I don't know if you're watching it with your child. Just everybody in the family, in the household, stand up and let's give a 2-minute silence to Nelson Mandela. I free you again. Do you know what? I don't know if that was up to 2 minutes, but I think you got the idea. When I say stand up and give a 2-minute silence for Nelson Mandela, you will not understand it. That's a spiritual tribute. A lot of things, when we stand up like this for 2 minutes and we keep silence, when we stand up like this for 2 minutes and we keep silent, you don't even know what the spirits are doing. There's things that are unseen that the spirits are doing. So when we stand up like this here for 2 minutes and we pay that tribute, it's a sign of respect. Say it's a sign of respect. Wave your hands. Say it's a sign of respect. Wave your hands. It's a sign of respect for Mr. Nelson Mandela Madiba. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, you know, Mandela, you changed a lot of lives. You did change a lot of lives. And no one can take this away from you. You are a great father figure. Yes, you are. And Nelson Mandela, your name will live forever. Who's going to change it? You set examples. You know, as I'm saying what I'm saying right now here, something came to my mind as well. And it says, you know, like I've given a 2-minute silence. Something says to me here, do a 2-minute dance for Mr. Nelson Mandela. You know, I'm not from traditional South Africa. I'm not wearing the traditional attire, but I'm going to try and do a dance for Nelson Mandela. Madiba, this one's for you. Hey! 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 Ash! 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 Hey! Hey! Ash! As you. Can you do this with me? As you. I'm the president of Gospelfaith Ministries. As you. As you. Yeah. As you. As you. Yeah. As you. As you. As you. Yeah. The Gospelfaith president. Hallelujah. Yeah. Thank you. Rest in peace. As you. As you. Rest in peace, Nelson Mandela. It's been a pleasure being able to talk about. Sorry, I've even lost weight doing that. I've lost a lot of weight doing that. You know. But you know what? Yeah, it's only a pleasure, and I feel very much relieved to be given an opportunity and a platform to talk about one that is dearest to our hearts. You know, we all have to come from somewhere, and we are all going somewhere. But Nelson Mandela, where you got to in life, you never got there by mistake. It wasn't a fluke. When I say it wasn't a fluke, you know, it's like playing a game of snooker or a game of pool, and you're the red, and your opponent is yellow, and you're aiming for a certain ball, and you strike the ball and you miss it completely, and the white ball goes and hits another ball and it goes into that pocket there. You didn't aim for that particular ball. That ball went into that pocket as a fluke. So I'm here to say, Nelson Mandela, you went so far in life and you transformed so many lives, but that wasn't by luck. That wasn't a fluke. That was by belief, that was by vision, and that was by hard work and creativity. Nelson Mandela, you are not renowned as someone that went to the moon. You are not renowned as an astronaut. You are not renowned as a musician. You are not renowned as a footballer. You are not renowned as a great dancer. But one thing is for sure, Nelson Mandela, you will always be renowned and remembered as a freedom fighter. You will always be renowned and remembered as a peacemaker. And nothing could ever beat that. Never forget the name, Sir Evangelist Alex. Peace! As you, as you, as you, as you, as you.